how do I stop my dog from barking in the car?
There's a lot of different ways to go about solving the issue of having your dog bark in the car. And one thing that I'm noticing that people are doing is that they're rushing, like they put the leash on the dog, they have to go somewhere, and then they throw the dog into the back seat. And I'm not saying throwing the dog there, but they get the dog into the back seat, and that's really the extent of the information that they're giving the dog. But the thing that really solves the barking is getting involved and showing the dog that, hey, we want you to be quiet in the back seat. As a matter of fact, this week I made a recommendation to a family that's going on a trip and their dog struggles with this. And I said, okay, well, you guys, you're a couple. One of y'all's going to be, driving the car, driving the vehicle. And then the other one's going to be in the back seat with the dog on a leash. And if you do that, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a period of time that you're going to struggle with the dog, but if you start to go back there together with the dog, you're going to be able to give them useful information. Now, I'll give you a tip of what I actually would prefer to do if you have a real serious barking problem. I would start taking daily trips, but my first trip would literally be to the driveway with the dog, and we would just go up and down the driveway or up and down our street to begin to teach the dog that we expect you to be in a down, on the seat, nice and calm as we're doing that. The crate will really help you if you're doing crate training in your home, but having a person back there showing the dog how to be calm. And then when your dog does bark, okay, you're going to have to use some kind of training tool to tell them that you don't want them to do that. But if you teach them to be calm in the first place, you might actually avoid the problem of barking altogether. Now, want to be careful because I've seen a couple of circumstances where people have had barking dogs, especially some of these larger breed dogs. And if your dog is already barking and you're thinking about going through a drive-through, I have heard of situations where people are passing food, to the window, and the dog's becoming very aggressive in those situations. So, really think about it. If you have a barking dog, if you're by yourself, don't try to go through a drive-through. In the beginning, make sure that you get some help to get the dog to be calmer. If you're all by yourself, the crate is going to be your number one. Crate's going to be your number one friend. And if you need to get the dog to be quiet, then I would advocate either for the bark collar or the remote collar. Either one of those could really be useful.